are we? My name is Aditi Gupta. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Live a Little, Love a Lot. And I'm here today to bring to you another story for the month of June, which is called Keeping It Alive. So don't close that app, get yourself a nice cuppa, make yourself comfortable, and let's dig in. I'm going to start reading. Surprise! Mrs. Meenakshi screeched, grinning ear to ear. She had a bouquet of flowers in one hand and a bunch of colourful helium balloons in the other. Her daughter Prakriti stood on the other side of the front door, dressed in grey sweatpants and oversized navy blue t-shirt that read, "Imperfectly perfect." Unfortunately, her daughter's face looked as dull as her dirty grey sweatpants. "Mom, what are you doing here?" Prakriti asked, stepping away from the door, heading to the small kitchen in her pigeon-sized apartment. Just stay calm, just take deep breaths, Prakriti murmured to herself. She filled herself a glass of water, glugged it down and filled another for her mother. "Prakriti? Beta, kya hua? What's the matter? Why do you look so glum?" The balloon slipped out of Mrs. Meenakshi's hands and flew up gently, bouncing against the white ceiling. "It didn't happen, Mom," Prakriti said slowly with an upside-down smile, staring at her purple slippers. What? What do you mean? But I thought it was a sure shot this time." Her mother dumped her purse on the chair along with the bouquet of lilies. "So come here, you little one. I'm sure you need a big hug." "I don't want a hug, Mom. I'm feeling so mad right now. I want to be left alone." "Why have you even come here in the first place? You never drop by." "Well, I didn't hear from you and I assumed that it was Friday night. Maybe you're out with your friends and maybe that's why you didn't call. So and I thought I'll give you a surprise." "Friends? What friends? You know I never go out at night. Even Friday night. They are the worst. The streets are just overly crowded with a bunch of drunks and half-naked chicks." Mrs. Meenakshi took a deep breath. She looked at her disconnected daughter. She looked depressed. "Get your things. Let's go," her mother insisted. "Go where?" "Home. I'm not coming home with you." "But why?" "Because it doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry. It's already past noon. And by the time we get home, it will be evening. And then I have to pack and get ready again and leave by noon on Sunday so I can make it back on time for Monday morning at work." Her mother sighed another worrisome sigh. "Okay, then I'll stay the night." "What? Why?" "Because look at you. Look at the state you're in. I've never seen you so messed up since Bruno died." "I'm fine, Mom." Prakriti rolled her eyes. "And I was in school when Bruno died. That was ages ago." "Bruno was such a sweet dog. Remember how he got lost at home when he was a puppy and I had to tie this little gungru to his neck so we could find where he is?" Her mother rambled, looking at her daughter. "Okay, sorry, now is not the time to talk about Bruno. But Prakriti, darling, please, just look at you." Prakriti sighed. "Mama, I'm just not ready to talk about it." "That's okay. We can talk about it whenever you're ready." Okay. There was an awkward silence in the room. Mrs. Meenakshi began humming to herself. She got up, she looked through her purse, she picked out her phone, she continued humming. She took a seat by the window on the chair, still humming. Prakriti listened. "Okay, fine. You win. I know you're not going to take no for an answer, and I know you, of all the people, are not going to budge. What do you want to do?" Well, we can start with some lunch. I am famished. Have you got anything to eat?" Mrs. Meenakshi got off the chair. She walked over to the kitchen. She saw a dirty pile of dishes, empty takeout boxes scattered over the kitchen slab, a half-filled garbage bag, a stale, smelly, empty refrigerator. "Okay, get ready. Let's go for lunch. I'm in the mood for a nice, crispy masala dosa. Change your clothes, take a shower, do something. Just let's go. Chop, chop." Prakriti stared at her mother and blinked rapidly. Her mother's energy was contagious. "Okay, give me 10 minutes." She smiled and headed straight to the bathroom. In due time, both mother and daughter binged on authentic South Indian food. Mrs. Meenakshi ended her meal with filter coffee. Her mother decided to go grocery shopping to fill her daughter's fridge and home with all sorts of lovely treats to eat. Items that were easy to prepare, fresh fruit and vegetable. They came home with a bottle of red wine and many carry bags. The two giggled and gossiped as they prepared dinner, and soon they sat down and watched their all-time favorite episode, Friends, and sipped on their wine. Eventually, the two sat to eat dinner. So, what did your boss say? Come on, it's about high time you talk about it now. You really want to do this now? Are you serious? Like now, we're having such a good time, mom. You always need to make space for the bad. Only then it will turn into good. Prakriti sighed. She was quiet for some time as she continued to eat. He didn't say anything. He just announced that Jaspreet has been promoted. And when I congratulated him, he told me about his fat ass salary hike he's got. I just couldn't control my tears and I went running to the bathroom like a little girl who's wet her pants. Jaspreet is the same colleague who's working with you, right? Yes. Prakriti nodded, fighting back those tears. You know, darling, you can cry if you want. Just let it out. You can't keep your emotions bottled up inside. You're just making things harder for yourself. Just throw out those tears. I'm here for you. Why do you think I stayed back? Oh, mom, Prakriti moaned. Her brown eyes began to spout tears. She got off the chair and curled up on her mother's lap. I don't understand. I don't know what went wrong. I can't figure it out. How have I landed up like this? And back in time, all these things never bothered me. Life used to be so simple. Everything used to be so simple. Why does life get so complicated as we grow? Because time changes people, dear. Work life does. Relationships do. We need to accept change and learn to adapt to it. But you need to look after yourself. It's okay if your boss didn't give you the promotion. Big deal. Maybe you can talk to him, or maybe it's a sign that you have to find, maybe it's a sign that you have to look for another job. I have spent more than 40 years of my life working hard day in and day out, and then one day I just decided to retire. I had enough. And you know what, sweetheart, I regret doing that. I regret making that decision. So this time which you have, it's precious. It's not going to come back. Make the most of it. This isn't going to be easy, but it isn't going to come again. Prakriti buried her face in her mother's shoulder. She fought back the waterworks, trying to keep her emotions in check. Try to get some sleep. You look exhausted. So the following morning, Mrs. Meenakshi was up earlier than usual. She hardly slept because her daughter's worries and troubles kept her awake through the night. Prakriti found her mother sitting on the same chair in the drawing room, sipping on a cup of tea. Why are you awake so early? Her daughter asked, rubbing her sleepy eyes. Why are you awake so early? Her mother replied. I always wake up at this time, Mama. But today is Sunday. Mom, the body clock is fixed. What do you want to eat for breakfast? I was thinking pancakes. She had a wide open smile. Pancakes. Oh, I see what you're doing. I know. You're trying to give me comfort food. Pancakes aren't comfort food. Okay, maybe it is. But who can resist nice, hot, fluffy pancakes and a nice, strong cup of coffee on a Sunday morning? Okay, you've got me. I'm already drooling thinking about pancakes. I'll make the batter, Prakriti said, heading towards the kitchen. I've already made it. Just let me know when you're ready to eat breakfast. Mom, you're spoiling me. I'm going to take a quick shower and then let's eat. What are mothers for, darling? After breakfast, we're going to the nursery. The nursery? Yeah, you'll see. So by late afternoon, Prakriti walked through the front door with a single potted rose plant in her hand. Her mother followed behind with more groceries to last her daughter for more than a week. What time are you going home? Prakriti asked. I think I should make a move. I'll see, maybe in some time, her mother replied. Okay. Don't look so sad. I'll be back in a week or so. Let me just get things organized at home and I'll stay for longer next time. I'll miss you, Mom. I'll miss you too, darling. Mom, yes, dear. Don't forget to take the plant. I'll leave it by the door so you won't forget the rose plant. Prakriti, dear, the rose plant is for you. My garden is already filled with roses and all sorts of flowers. What? Wait, what? What did you just say? I don't have time to look for a plant. I don't have time to look after a plant or any plant. Precisely my point. No. This is not working. I don't want a plant in my apartment. Prakriti, this plant is solely your responsibility. Okay, here's the deal. If you can make this plant survive, I'm going to leave you alone. But if it dies in the next 2 weeks, you're coming home with me. You can't go on living life like this. You're too messed up. You don't look after yourself. You don't eat well. Your apartment is like a bloody pigsty. You have heaps of laundry, and you really need to look after yourself. And I really feel that this rose plant can help you do that. A rose plant. Mom, have you lost your mind? Are you serious? You really think a rose plant, of all the things in the world, would help me learn to look after myself and make me get my life back in order? And why should I, of all the people, move back into the house with you over there, which is so far? Because then maybe you can find a job on my side of town and you can live with me and your father. Wait, no. You know I can't live with Dad. I'm not giving you a choice. And if this is the only way my 24-year-old daughter can get her act together, then so be it. And if you can't make this rose plant survive, you're coming home with me. Mark my words, Prakriti, you are going to come home with me. 2 weeks. Mom, I don't understand. What's so great about this stupid freaking rose plant? You'll understand later. And mark my words, darling, 2 weeks. I'm repeating myself. I suggest you Google how to look after a rose plant. I'm looking forward to see more blooms when I return. Now, come on, give me a hug before I go. And with that, Mrs. Meenakshi left. Prakriti looked at the rose plant standing, staring at it in the face. So you're going to decide my future? Ridiculous! How we'll see about that. Really, you, this thing, this plant. What is my mother even thinking? She said to the plant, oh my God, I'm talking to the plant. Am I losing my mind too? So the following Monday morning, Prakriti had a cup of coffee, a slice of toast and 2 boiled eggs for breakfast. The plant stared at her when she ate. It looks fine to me. I'm sure it can survive 2 weeks. The single red rose still stood tall with big thorns on its stem. Its leaves were dark green and the soil was still moist. She looked up. She looked at the time and realized that she was going to be late for work. Prakriti picked up her work bag and rushed out the front door, leaving her plate on the table and her unfinished cup of coffee. She hailed an auto from the main road and made her way to another day at work. Prakriti was swamped with several errands at work. She put aside her frustration and dejection, held her head high, and went through the day. Her boss was impressed with her performance and gave her a pat on the back. Prakriti thought, should I ask him why he didn't get the promotion? Should I? Tomorrow I'm assigning you with Jaspreet. There is a deal. It's a very big deal. And I need you and Jaspreet to make sure that it is taken care of. I'm sure he will be able to help you. Prakriti nodded but didn't utter a word. Help me out? I've been longer here than Jaspreet. I can handle closing a deal perfectly well. What is my boss even thinking? As the week went by, Prakriti moved in and out of her apartment. Instead of closing 1 deal, she closed 2. However, she returned home late every night and lived on cup noodles. By the end of the week, Prakriti noticed that the rose plant was beginning to wilt. She kicked off her shoes by the plant, which was still standing by the front door, and ignored it. Her mother's stern words ran through her head. She shut them out. I don't have time for this. I'm too tired. On Saturday morning, Prakriti woke up and found her mother's text message asking for a picture of the plant. Have the rose buds blossomed? I will FaceTime you at 9. I miss you. See you next week. Shit, I'm so screwed. I'm not at home right now. I will show you the plant when we FaceTime at 9. Prakriti texted. Tuck, 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 tuck. It's 8 a.m. Tuck, tuck, tuck. Her mother replied. Why aren't you home? Oh my God. Never lie to your mother. How was she always 10 steps ahead of me? Prakriti thought, staring at her mother's text message. Question mark, her mother added. All okay? Prakriti saw the fruit basket on the table as her brain tried to come up with something. Another white lie. I've come to buy fruits and vegetables. Really? Her mother texted. How can the fruits already be over? I thought they would last longer. But oh well, that means you're eating healthy. See, the plant is already making a difference. Carry on, I'll see you at 9. Prakriti closed her eyes tightly and sat still at the dining table. One lie after the other. She then looked at the rose plant sitting by the front door. I better do something before my mother changes her mind. She thought. She picked up the pot, she placed it in the balcony, she poured some water, hoping that the half-dead plant would miraculously come back to life. An hour later, Prakriti ate breakfast. She took a shower. She was dressed in clean clothes. She stood at the window at her balcony overlooking the rose plant. It looked the same. Lifeless. She recalled her mother's words. You need to give it time. You need to give it love. You need to give it patience. This isn't going to work, Prakriti thought. She picked up her bag. She walked out the front door. And about an hour later, she arrived back home with a brand new rose plant. Identical to the first one. Now my mom won't even get to know. She won't even get to know that I've replaced the old one with the new one. She won't be able to tell the difference. I'll just show her the new plant on FaceTime and be done with it. See? And then she'll understand how well, how good I am at taking care of myself and this stupid plant. Easy peasy. She replaced the old rose plant with the new one. She moved the old one in the corner of the balcony. She knew her mother would be impressed with the video call later. However, a pang of guilt tugged her conscience. Her eyes wandered around her messy apartment. There was a pile of laundry, dirty dishes, unfolded clothes, books scattered on the table. The bouquet of lilies her mother had given her last week, which was still in the vase, withered, wilted. Prakriti sighed, realizing that she had a lot to do to get her life in order. Then and there, Prakriti decided to get her act together. She cleaned up pretty well for someone who hardly cleans at all. By 9, Prakriti was eating dinner. Her phone was next to her. The ringer was on loud and she was expecting her mother to call. She didn't want to call because she knew her father would be around and she preferred to avoid that awkward, formal conversation. The following morning, so Mrs. Meenakshi was standing at her daughter's front door, again to give her daughter another surprise visit. Surprise! Mrs. Meenakshi stood with her arms wide open, obviously. Mom, I thought you were going to drop by next Sunday. What are you doing here? Oh, I see you're looking better. You look nice and clean. And she walked through the front door. And oh, look at the apartment. It's squeaky clean, all spick and span. I'm proud of you, Prakriti. Good job. Good job. Mrs. Meenakshi walked to the balcony window and noticed the rose plant standing strong and tall. She telephoned the driver. Hello, हाँ जी भैया जी, हाँ जी प्लीज़ सामान ला दीजिए भैया जी ऊपर जी, हाँ जी थैंक यू, हाँ थोड़ी देर में निकलेंगे भैया, ओके. Mom, what stuff? क्या सामान? What is going on? What is happening? Prakriti fumbled and she tried to get her mother away from the balcony. She tried to bring her back to the drawing room. Oh, you'll see, she winked and gave her daughter an impish grin. Just then, the doorbell rang. The driver stood on the other side of the door with 6 to 8 brand new potted plants. भैया सारे उठा के ना balcony में रखवा दीजिए. Mom, what's going on? Oh, nothing, dear. Mrs. Meenakshi trotted over to open the balcony door. Ding! She opened the door. Mom, no, wait! Don't go outside. सारे यहाँ रख दो भैया, सारे एक लाइन में रख दीजिए अच्छे से, नीटली. Good. Now isn't that looking better? Mrs. Meenakshi smiled. She beamed at her daughter. Prakriti gave her mother a long stare and blinked rapidly. What? Don't you like it? Now you have more babies to look after. And oh, by the way, I know you bought yourself a new rose plant. Wait, what? You do? How? You saw you saw the old one in the balcony? It's there in the balcony? I didn't see it. I've not even noticed. But I know. Your mother knows you bought a new rose plant. You do? How? See, sweetheart, the rose plant I bought had a red flower, and the new one has a pink flower. Oh, now it's okay, but I'm happy, Prakriti, with your progress. Good job, well done. But sweetheart, yes, mother, you can lie to me all you want. Lie all you want. But believe me, Mrs. Meenakshi, as your mother, Prakriti darling, you are always going to get caught red-handed. And that's the end of the story. I hope you liked it. I loved narrating it to you and I loved writing it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I loved narrating and writing this story. It's called Keeping It Alive. Don't forget to subscribe, share, comment. Please comment and let me know what you think, because your thoughts matter to me. They make a huge difference. Stay tuned for the next one. Take care.